Elon Musk says a major transfer will take place this week. Please listen. Elon Musk has dropped a bombshell that's rippling through the universe. A massive transfer is unfolding right now. And this week is the turning point. It's not just about money or opportunities. It's a divine redistribution of energy, blessings, and destinies. The stars have aligned, pausing the chaos of the world just long enough for this message to hit you square in the soul. In some dimly lit corner, an unseen figure is sifting through the chapters of your journey, hands trembling as they sense the tide turning. The glow they once overlooked now blinds them with its intensity. What they brushed off as insignificant has become an unshakable force. This is where earthly regrets collide with celestial reckoning. In the grand ledger of the cosmos, truth reigns supreme and the balances are shifting. Those who cast you aside are whispering your name in hushed tones, haunted by the echoes of what they lost. Every inquiry yields the same verdict. Nothing that came their way could eclipse the light you carried. They linger amid the wreckage of their arrogance, tossing restlessly as the universe crafts its ironic twist. And that twist is your triumph. This week signals the great reversal. It's the culmination of heaven's blueprint for you. The grand handover, the elevation, the revelation. What was denied is flowing back. What lurked in shadows is bursting into view. The resilience you forged in silence. The unwavering belief you nurtured alone. The eras of being overlooked. They weren't curses. They were the forge shaping you for this very instant. Your essence is etched on the divine roster. The exchange is in progress. The universal shift has begun. Stay grounded. Guard your spirit. This is the chapter where the narrative flips and your saga transforms. Chosen one, don't just receive, respond. A simple super thanks up to $20 is a way to say yes to what heaven is releasing through this word. When betrayal cuts that deep, time blurs into a haze. You poured yourself in fully like molten light mending a broken chalice. Your vitality flooded their world. Dawn after dawn, you chose them anew. You silenced the inner whisper, urging caution, that faint sense of misalignment. Night after night, the divine positioned you as their trial, not to break you, but to test their worthiness. When a gift arrived unlabeled and unbound, the cosmos probed. Could they recognize purity amid the noise? They failed spectacularly. Doubt crept in first, sun as faux empathy. Their probes into your worth, questioning if your needs were excessive, a timely reply, reliability in promises, simple decency wrapped in mutual regard. In their grasp, these became insurmountable peaks. Demands from one they painted as demanding were deemed unattainable. They dug deeper in secret, pulling distant contacts, shared circles, anyone who might unveil your core. The chorus was unanimous. That soul is rare. One of a kind. Cherish it fiercely. No duplicates exist. True to the core. Fiercely loyal. A heart of forged steel meant for lifelong union, not fleeting games. Yet to egos drunk on self-importance, warnings dissolve like mist. They filed away the praise in forgotten corners where honesty withers, hoarding it as unused ammunition. To heed the consensus would mean facing their flaws, their shallow thresholds masquerading as selectivity, their aversion to depth posing as autonomy, their voids cloaked in mysterious allure. The universe witnessed their denial, their sidestepping of every alarm. Those signals weren't about your flaws. They were mirrors to their unrealness. Each endorsement of your brilliance underscored their inadequacy for such treasure. Every nod to your value exposed their struggle to hold anything precious. But gazing into truth after years of evasion is like staring into the sun. Type Amen to claim the divine favor unfolding. Support this vision with super thanks up to $20. They'd already branded you overwhelming, your affection too fierce, your limits too firm, your identity too unyielding to justify their shadows. They craved someone malleable, someone who dimmed on command, someone whose radiance could be dialed down. You defied every category. A tempest guided by higher will. An eternal blaze, a roar that echoed eternally. The manipulation began subtly, probing your thresholds, delaying responses to spark unease, flaking on plans to strain your resolve, creating voids to lure your chase. They sought dominance. Your emotions became their experiment, a fragile thing under glass. But deep within, awareness stirred, not in thoughts at first, but in your essence. It showed in the exhaustion after their shadow passed, the serenity reclaiming the space they vacated. The nod in your gut before their words arrived. While your mind spun justifications, your being tallied the toll. A sacred intuition wired your nerves. They persisted in dimming your alerts, crafting gaps to draw you closer. They pulled back precisely enough to test your advance, craving your fracture, your pleas, the erosion of your strength into raw need. They hunted proof you mirrored their past conquests, crumbling under pressure. Fragile in absence, frantic when sidelined. Your unraveling was to be their crafted hush. They'd scripted this scene before. The panic after days of silence, the desperate outreach by week's end. Type Amen to claim the divine favor unfolding. Support this vision with super thanks up to $20. By the second cycle, the breakdown was scripted. Like commanders eyeing surrender, they anticipated your yield. Their scripted reply waited a return on altered terms where your desires shrank to fit theirs. Words that belittled your essence and elevated their whims. But in that void, a miracle unfolded. You ceased the pursuit, not in fury or spectacle, but in quiet cessation. No notifications lit up. No words lingered in drafts. Explanations faded before they could wound you further. At last, the divine message pierced through. This wasn't your path. The ordeal wasn't mere suffering. It was schooling. Each tear dissolved illusions. Sleepless hours purged the craving for unfulfilled promise. The initial void felt like abandonment in disguise. You scrutinized everything. Your boundaries, your gut, your merit. Were you truly excessive? Expectations too lofty? Was love supposed to mimic anxious pursuit? Their subtle manipulations had you striking your own spark, nearly consuming yourself. Yet the ethereal intervened through melodies that spoke directly, chance dialogues that mirrored your turmoil, feeds curated by fate. Truth emerged from their web of lies. Your asks weren't extravagant. The recipient was wrong. You weren't too intense for authenticity. You were too real for pretense. Not demanding, but steady in a realm of flux. Your clarity clashed with their chaos. The flaw lay not in your standards, but in their failure to meet love's bare minimums. The next wave arrived like a thief in twilight. True strength blooms in isolation where your rebirth ignited. No broadcasts of pain, no vengeful displays, no proclamations. You retreated to the sanctuary of inner renewal. There, amid the dim, divinity met you with raw insight over solace. You weren't surplus. You were beyond their capacity. Not expectant, but they underdelivered. Not fervent, but they lacked depth. In that refuge, you unearthed the pivot. Their harm wasn't chaos, but precision work. A cosmic incision to excise illusions about worth, affection, and the chasm between deserved and settled. Each scar was deliberate surgery, severing toxic cycles, lifting inherited burdens, unearthing wounds mistaken for bonds. The rebuild was raw. You confronted the evaded parts, the overlooked self, the blur of attachment and fervor, the alchemy of spark and storm, the pattern of earning love through endurance. These weren't habits. They were inheritances. Shadows sabotaging healthy unions. While you rebuilt unseen, they celebrated illusory liberty. In your void they chased simpler marks, those content with scraps as sustenance, unquestioning echoes. Their reflections showed only flattery, no evolution, no substance, just hollow nods from empty shells. If this resonates, share this video to guide others chosen like you toward their awakening. The surface calm masked escalating frenzy. Bonds tightened an illusion yet hollowed out. Trophies gleamed but offered no warmth. At midnight's edge, isolation gnawed. They ignored the voids in their facades, blind to the ache behind veneers. Unseen. Every newcomer palled against your benchmark. A laugh rang hollow beside your authentic joy. Attention scattered where yours anchored. Affection came laced with strings unlike your boundless gift. Type Amen to claim the divine favor unfolding. Support this vision with super thanks up to $20. These contrasts weren't deliberate. Your spirit etched them involuntarily like echoes in code they couldn't erase. But the universe's wit cuts sharper than night. Your name surfaced in guarded talks unbidden in spaces meant for forgetting. Reminders thrived. Whispers of your feats, your glow, your inexplicable peace amid trials. Reports converged. You hadn't survived. You'd soared beyond reason. They dismissed at first exaggerations, filtered facades, curated highs. Yet the influx persisted from varied voices, all harmonizing. You weren't improved. You were reborn, ignited from within, uncontainable radiance. Curiosity morphed to scrutiny. Fleeting glances at your digital trail revealed not wreckage, but renewal. No bitterness clung. Instead a self-sourced joy, affection, abundance, serenity untethered from them. Love that generated its own current independent of validation. Meanwhile, their choices recoiled. Not remorse in the pure sense, consequences in raw form. New ties skimmed surfaces. Dialogues echoed faded depths. Intimacies rang vacant against your richness. Souls starved, having swapped sustenance for fleeting bites. The benchmark tormented. Your fire chilled all else. Your insight dwarfed banter. Your ease exposed rigidity. They'd severed a signal, chasing echoes on incompatible waves. Indirect probes began, veiled queries through proxies, lingering near your haunts. Like sleuths at their own aftermath, they unearth not your fury, but your flourish. Genuine assent, unfeigned, unassailable. Your aura had evolved. Not vengeful, but liberated. Indifference profound and rooted. Lessons learned, not grudges nursed. They'd never claim your earned crowns forged in their forge of fire. Voices amplified from past to present. You embodied excellence. Attempts to reframe faltered. Truth outlasts spin. Their distortions crumbled. Allies voiced the loss outright. Post-libation candor. Epic blunder there. Irreplaceable. Each barb a reminder of collective clarity. They ignored. The specter emerged. Not ethereal, but inevitable fallout. Your imprint blocked progress. Voids defied filling. They sculpted others into your mold. Futile as forcing angles into curves. Triggers ambushed. A tune from shared nights. A scent evoking you. A phrase from strangers. Daylight assaults, derailing poise, prompting retreats. You permeated without presence. Nights weaponized. 2 to 5 a.m. became tribunals. Decisions crashed down unfiltered. No crowds, no acts. Glitter choked where gold once shone. The outreach phase dawned covertly. A like on your post, a casual tag, fishing for response. None came. Your quiet outpowered words. True detachment woven into bone. Their realm irrelevant escalations followed. Been reflecting on us. Wishing you well. Fabrications all rebounds met voided shields. You descended realms beyond their reach. Frequencies unheard, currencies obsolete. Life's momentum rendered their pings peripheral. Not games, but genuine oversight. Forgotten, not shunned. Revelation flashed. Post-loss interrogations confirmed. You were the pinnacle. Squandered for phantom freedoms. Ego highs. The allure of multiple pursuits over singular depth. Math exposed the folly. Multitudes of voids for one wellspring. Banquets for buffets of air. Sanctuary for transiencies, essence for expanse, rarity for routine, abundance masked as variety proved barren. Autonomy bred exile, options chained, emptied amid excess. Midnight's fifth wave crested. Memories peaked viciously. Not rifts, but relinquished riches. Dawn whispers, wordless bonds. The ease of total acceptance. Yours by choice, discarded by whim. Triggers flooded. Sunrise through pains you adored. Coffee steam. Yours sweetened twice rain's rhythm, you'd pull them into not mere flashbacks, phantoms of self-slain futures, recreations flopped, novices lacked context, turning magic mundane scenes limped without your lead post, you ties became audits of lack, they hunted your spark in sparks, depth in shallows, truth in theatrics, care in commerce. None measured, all fell short. Yearning twisted, not for flaws, but your fit, the catalyst for their growth. A cosmic prize scribbled over. Awareness shadowed every venture. Echoes of warnings, unmatched blunder, eternal truths, refrain looped, inescapable frantic replication marked the sixth surge, tutoring dates in your art, styling them in your vibe, mimicry doomed essence defies forgery, yours brewed in trials, revelation Asian's sacred sink. They chased endpoint sands, journey haunts, revisited spots you unveiled, now profane echo spaces pulsed with your ghost, a gallery of regrets. You ascended unseen, not spite but script. They were catalysts, not ceilings. Harm meant to hollow you birthed awakening, unlocking innate force, tuning eternal broadcasts, quiet climbs, moves unannounced, heals unspoken, growth organic, cosmos rewarded, authenticity, portals unseen, realms unlocked. Observers caught the shift. Inner luminescence. Magnetic poise. Their wound became your portal. Divine current coursed through betrayals. Venom fueled flight. You'd entered elevated planes. Energetic, effortless worth radiated. Pre-words, pre-actions, pre-intros. Unbridled, you eternally destined. The eighth twist unveiled irony. Their folly self-inflicted, not your design. Consensus post-loss. You unparalleled collective wisdom spurned for solo delusion. Diamonds ditched for fakes now lusterless. They embodied the jest. Caution incarnate, pals invoke their lapse in advice. Steer clear of that path. Failures verbalized. Circles noted decline. Desperation veiled as joy rang false. Delight needs no sales, peace, no fanfare. The act exhausted, feigned bliss, mock progress, minimized you. Masks weighed, lines blurred, roles eroded, life, narratives of you tangled, truth too stark, lies too petty, silence too telling, no angle flattered, wisdom absent from their ledger. Chosen one. Don't just receive, respond. A simple super thanks up to $20 is a way to say yes to what heaven is releasing through this word realization. Seventh crest, finality absolute. No returns, no redemptions, no heroic amends. Your departure etched in stone, complete, serene, despise attempts fizzled. You offered no fuel. Void absolute, emotions hurled into abyss. Energetic eclipse mastered. Your non-being louder than presence. It filled voids, echoed silences, shadowed joys. Taken for granted, now absence amplified. Haunt by negation. Triumphs hollow sands your share. Storms fiercer sands your calm. Laughs dim sands your spark. Life fragmented, lighthouse banished. Desperation's ninth act. Performative growth posts. Veiled bids for notice aimed at your gaze via proxies. Pity plays evolution snapshots. But you scrolled past unbound. Their torment your hush from giver to ghost. Withdrawal ravaged aches, unmedicated voids unfed. Bodies rebelled, spirits dimmed. Allies queried changes. The spark extinguished. You'd been their unseen charge. Now glitches reigned. Climax intent. Lost transcended persons. Frequencies severed. Proximity to you amplified. Severed. Vibration sank. Sought in vices, victories, feudal yours, divine forged, trial earned. No substitutes for irreplaceables. Your ascent accelerated self-nurtured love, self-fueled dreams, self-crowned realm. Ashes birthed empires, inner thrones. Autonomy absolute home hearth heart self-made. Your sovereignty menaced their pride. Cosmic punchline in 11th, post-return polls glowed. 5-star verdicts. All affirmed your supremacy spurned by hubris. Warnings universal irreplaceable insanity to lose lottery cashed as litter truth tormented relentlessly drip by drip eroding facades. Regret embodied your name. Peak unscaled tales brightest thread fabrications frayed. Inconsistencies betrayed finale poetic. They spectate your epic from afar. Victory's serenity shine sands them. The transfer complete. Your rise their reflection. Elon was right. This week's pivot unleashes it all. Type Amen to seal your claim. Share if it stirs your soul.